right, good morning. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WYBX. A Monday morning and a wet one as well. It's going to rain today, and it was pretty wet yesterday also, as we saw a significant drop-off in the temperature yesterday from what we saw at the end of last week. So good morning, Smitty.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm all right. Bill is out today. He's under the weather. We're still going to do our best to put things together here today. We'll be talking with Jim Zecca coming up next hour. We'll touch base with Tanya J. Powers, a new Democrat, into the studio. What's that?
It's like the call to the bullpen when the baseball pitcher comes in. We're the bullpen.
Oh, yeah. That's
like
funny.
Buck Showalter. Here, you want to take over in the fifth? You got 3 runs on the – you got 3 batters. You got to try to get yourself out of a jam.
Well, maybe we could touch base on baseball in a second. You saw the Jets-Giants game yesterday, right?
Yes, I did.
I mean, what an embarrassment. Gosh. I don't know. I like Daboll, too, but, I mean, he's got a backup quarterback that he won't let throw the ball.
Who are you talking about, Tommy DeVito?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not my opinion. I know he went to Syracuse, so I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Well, he didn't. He went to Syracuse for 3 years, and then he transferred to Illinois.
Yeah, okay. Well, just if you're not going to let your quarterback throw the ball, I don't know why you have him on the team. So I know he's a backup, and Tyrod Taylor got hurt again yesterday. So I don't know. We'll continue this conversation in a second. Joining us now from oh no. You're kidding me. I just lost her. We'll touch base with Tanya J. Powers here coming up in a second, I believe. I mentioned the new Democratic candidate in the presidential race jumping in. Is she there? Okay, perfect. Hi, Tanya. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's okay.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So tell me about this new candidate who's jumping in. It's funny because was it RFK Jr. was in, and then I think he felt like there was no chance he was going to get the party's nomination because they were going to back Biden as the incumbent. So he went independent, but now someone else steps forward.
Yes, as a Democratic challenger to President Biden, Dean Phillips, who is a third-term congressman from Minnesota. He represents a district that includes suburban Minneapolis. He was elected to the House in 2018. He's a moderate Democrat and apparently a big fan of Joe Biden, except he believes that this is the time for someone new to step in and kind of carry the mantle.
Is he? You mentioned he's moderate. Has he taken any noteworthy stances on issues?
He's got a few major policy disagreements with Biden. He supported his agenda in Congress. It appears that I don't know where he is different. He differs from him really. I mean, I'm not sure about his voting record. I don't know how far a field he gets from him. For the most part, he seems to kind of line up behind Joe Biden, and he praises him a lot. He did a CBS interview last week just after when he announced that he was going to challenge him, and he said his quote was, "I love Joe Biden." He said, "But I believe that there is an exhausted majority in America that wants neither of these candidates." And he's talking about President Biden and former President Trump, if they're the nominees again. He said, both of these people are, going to be the oldest, I believe he said they're the oldest, candidates for this job ever. And he said, it is time for somebody new. He said he'll be respectful in his campaign. He's not, trying to throw mud at anybody. He's certainly not the president. Again, he seems to be a big fan of him. He just believes that it's time for somebody else. Dean Phillips is 54. He actually left a position in Democratic House leadership because he was considering a run for president, even though most of the party's elected officials disagreed with this idea.
So I was going to ask you about that. What's the reaction that's the Democrats, at least in Washington and nationwide? What are some of the reactions so far to Dean Phillips?
Well, what he says is that he's also, and by the way, he's running and recruiting other people to do so as well. I thought that was one of the significant things he said. He said, this is what America does. It invites. He said he doesn't want to work in a political system that favors coronation over competition. He said he does admit he's a long shot. But he actually is, encouraging other people, in the Democratic Party, if you feel like, now is the time that you should run, you should run. don't just cite, okay, well, it's we got an
Wow.
incumbent president, I can't run against him. He said, no, this is what we do in America. We give people choices and we create competition for things, and that's what our country was founded on. He said, we're going to keep voting out of fear, or we're going to go down this path of anger and continue down this path of anger and aggression. He said he keeps kind of relying on and going back to the polling and says that, the data is clear. He said that over 50% of Democrats want a different candidate. He said that also if he is not the nominee, he would not run as a third-party candidate or support any third-party effort. And I'm guessing that's kind of a dig to RFK Jr. there.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see somebody step forward, but I question how seriously he takes this. If he's telling others to jump in, come, you want my spot? Come take it. I don't have to challenge Biden. You can step right up. It's a very odd approach, and I think it really takes away the credibility of the run. Interestingly, I think he
didn't seem to be saying I won't run if somebody else wants to. He said, everybody jump in. This is what we do. We give America choices.
Yeah, and I do think he's right, though. I think the majority of Americans are exhausted with the two candidates that we have here. And I think Joe Biden's exhausted with the just the thought of having to be in the White House for another 4 years. So, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News, thank you so much as always. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Smitty, any thoughts there? That was Tanya J. Powers, of course, from Fox News. Let's see if I can. There we go. Shut that
No
off.
thoughts.
I have to be honest, I don't know much about Dean Phillips, but I think he's right. And I think RFK Jr. was right.
He's independent now.
Well, he's independent now, but I mean, he's been a Democrat, I think, his whole life. Is that right? And he was initially going to run and challenge Biden, but now he's an independent because I think he knows it's, as Tanya said there, she used the word coronation.
Did you hear the big other political news that happened on Saturday?
What happened?
On the Republican side?
Tell me.
Mike Pence dropped out.
Did he?
Suspended his presidential run.
Yeah, well,
He said it in a bunch of Catholics in Las Vegas on Saturday. He said it wasn't the time for him right now to run. So I bet you Trump probably said something to get him out of the race or.
See, I think he just knows he's not garnering enough support.
Yeah, there's a debate in 2 weeks, and he hasn't even got the support to make it onto the stage yet.
Yeah, so I think he's bowing out early here to save himself.
I like Mike Pence. I wasn't throwing my support behind him. I read his book. It was an awesome book. I mean, I like Mike Pence.
Interesting. The former Vice President Mike Pence, officially now out of the race.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Matthew Perry over the weekend?
Yes, I did.
How sad is that?
Wow. I was home Saturday. I was flipping through the channels and watching TV, and then I got the breaking news on my phone from CNN. Says former Friends actor Matthew Perry found dead in a drowning.
Yeah, so he was in his hot tub. He was just 54.
But he deal with a lot of demons, a lot of alcohol and drugs.
Yeah, and pills. He was popping pills pretty heavy there.
Yeah.
I saw something yesterday when they were recapping kind of his life and his struggle with addiction, was that he was going to open houses, like homes that were for sale. He would go to an open house, and I'm pretty sure he said he would go in the cabinet, in the bathroom cabinet, and take pills out of people's medicine cabinets.
Wow.
That's how bad it had gotten for him.
He sat down with Diane Sawyer a couple years ago when he had his book, and they showed that yesterday all over TV. He looked pretty bad.
I found interesting also, he had there was a change in his speech pattern, in his cadence, the way he spoke after becoming an addict. Almost, I don't know how to describe it, but it was noticeably different, the way he spoke, and even just the look on his face. I don't know. But so sadly, Matthew Perry passed away over the weekend. They think he may have suffered some type of a health issue, maybe cardiac arrest. He returned home from a 2-hour round of pickleball and sent his assistant on an errand. When the assistant returned 2 hours later, he found Matthew dead in the hot tub. 911 was called, but he had already passed. Officials believe it might be cardiac arrest. They're still investigating cardiac arrest / drowning. They think he may have had a medical issue that caused him to drown in the hot tub. TMZ says no illegal drugs were found on the scene, and there were no signs of foul play. The cops did find several prescription drugs, antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, and a COPD drug, which they say he may have needed due to his history of smoking. Perry was just as famous for his drug and alcohol issues as he was for playing Chandler on the hit show Friends.
Chandler Bing.
Was that his last name, Bing?
Yeah.
In addition to Friends, Matthew appeared in several hit movies, including Fools Rush In, The Whole Nine Yards. He also starred in with Thomas Lennon on a short-lived revival of The Odd Couple. He was credited with the 2017 miniseries The Kennedys After Camelot. And as of last night, none of the other 5 main Friends cast members had commented yet on his death, which I found odd.
Yeah.
That none of them had publicly spoken, wishing him well,
But
condolences to his family, not wishing him well, condolences to his family. We love him and we miss him. There's usually, even on social media, there's usually something that comes out.
let the Friends marathon begin.
Were you a Friends fan?
I watched it occasionally when they had NBC on that big. Remember when they were promoting the Big Thursday with Friends and other shows on Thursday? I watched it a couple times. I've seen it a couple times in syndication. There's certain episodes that I like, but I wasn't a big fan of Friends.
Yeah, see, I have probably only seen a handful of Friends episodes my whole life. I was just never into the show. Although I was a huge fan of Seinfeld, and for some reason, to me, maybe they were on at the same time. They were I don't know if they ran back to back, but they were in that same era.
I wasn't a huge Seinfeld watcher, but I watch it every time. Right now, it's on syndication, like on Comedy Central. I watch it. I'm addicted. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's
But
probably a pretty timeless show, other than the outfits that they wore.
I was a big fan of 2.5 Men.
Well, was there news on that?
No.
You like 2.5 Men? Charlie Sheen, though, he's kind of fallen out of the limelight. You don't hear much about him anymore.
Apparently, he's supposed to be making a comeback.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Doing what?
Another TV show I read. He's going to be teaming up with Chuck Lorre, the guy who created Friends, to do another TV show.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that. I don't watch much of anything on television, other than sports and news. That's it. I don't watch any shows on Netflix at this time. It's kind of depressing. I should probably find a show that I can get into.
You want to know what my TV consists of? You can make fun of me all you want.
Go ahead.
You know the first one. What do I love?
Oh, wrestling.
Wrestling, sports, and news.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me a show that you watched. Are you into any series?
I'm into the old TV series like Walker, Texas Ranger. I love the Andy Griffith Show. I'm currently not into any of these Hulu, Netflix.
The Andy Griffith Show. That's a throwback, Smitty.
Yes, you go ahead and make fun of me. I have it all on DVD and Blu-ray.
No kidding.
Yes.
I'm not making fun of
My
you.
mom gets mad at me because when they played on TV Land from 4 until 7, Monday through Friday, I occasionally watch it. When I come out and watch it, she says, "You know the words better, more you know the words by heart." I said, "Yeah, it's because I watch them over and over and over."
It's National Candy Corn Day. Did you know that?
No, I hate candy corn.
So do I. There's some trick-or-treaters who hope that you'll celebrate by flushing your candy corn down the toilet today and not try to pawn it off on them tomorrow, I would imagine. A website just conducted a poll. They asked people if they love or hate various Halloween candies. There are several on the list. Believe it or not, it didn't rate the lowest.
Hold on.
52% of people said they hate Peeps. I'm one of them, although my son likes them. Their definition of Halloween candy, though, is very broad. I think Peeps was, to me, always associated with Easter, right? Because you'd get the little bunnies.
Yeah.
Right? So, let's see here. Peeps came in first. 52% of people hate them. Jawbreakers, 45% of people hate them. Dots, 44% of people hate them. What else? Atomic Fireballs, Red Hots, candy corn. Just 42% of people said they hated them. For the record, 45% said they loved candy corn. 13% said they didn't know what candy corn was. That's a little odd. Lemon heads, 30% of people hate them. Tootsie Rolls, those aren't bad. 30% of people hate Tootsie Rolls. Let's see, I got Smarties. People don't like those. Mentos, people don't like those. I don't blame them. Cadbury cream eggs, 28% of people said they hate them. There are Halloween versions of these in Peeps, but they're still not. It's still odd that they appear on this list. Let's see, what else here? A bit of honey, I've never heard of that. Laffy Taffy, 25% of people hate those. And what else do we have on here? Almond Joys, 34% of people say they hate Almond Joys. They were split on Mounds. We go to the phone lines, Mike and Skylar. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good.
You guys are talking about the old shows. We've been watching The Honeymooners. It's all the episodes are on Pluto right now.
Oh, it's my all-time favorite show. I love it. I love The Honeymooners.
I know. I remember you referenced it last week. Also, that reminded me of remember Pins and Needles, Needles and Pins. A happy man is a man that grins.
Yes, and then he had one too where he faked an appointment at the doctor's office, and it was 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? And then I smiled to myself, and I can't think of what the problem is. Yeah, those were some hilarious episodes. Jackie Gleason and who played Norton? Art Carney.
Art Carney. Yeah.
Their back and forth, the chemistry they had on the stage was incredible. And again, back then it was all in front of a live audience.
Yes, and you know what's funny? I was watching one of the episodes. Joyce Randolph is still alive, the one that plays Trixie. And we were happening to watching it, and it's actually she just turned 99.
No
It
kidding.
was actually on the day she actually turned 99 that day we were watching the episode. It was just a coincidence. But yeah, she's the only one that's still alive from that show.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, so you're enjoying it, right? What is it? They have like the classic 45 or the classic 42.
39.
39.
I think it's 39.
Yeah, it's
But
39.
they're all on Pluto, free. When we started in episode 1, we were up to episode 9 now, I think.
So that's like what Davey was just saying. I mean, I can recite some of the lines right from the show. I've seen that show so many times. I haven't watched it in a while. I think the last time I watched anything, I found something on, maybe it was Hulu. But they have, because the Classic 39 were episodes that would air in 30-minute blocks, okay? And then you had your commercials. So they were about 23 minutes long. But there are other episodes that they have where they would do like Christmas specials or holiday specials, and they would be, they're varying lengths. Some of them are like an hour and 40 minutes. Some of them are like 58 minutes. Some are 36 minutes. It's funny that they're varying lengths. And if you can find those, you should check those out as well. And interestingly, there are actually a couple of different cast members who play Trixie, I think, is replaced in one. And there's a different Alice.
Some other people playing the roles. Now, the funny thing, too, how Ralph never liked Alice's mother.
Right.
They never got along. You remember years later, Alice, she actually played the mother and lost someone that didn't get along. Do you remember what that show was? It was years later.
I have no.
Too Close for Comfort with Ted Knight.
Oh, okay.
You remember that, Smitty?
Remember
I don't
that?
even
And
remember
she
that
was
show.
Yeah, I remember.
She was the mother-in-law and never got along with him, Ted Knight.
That's funny.
Yeah, I remember Ted Knight in Too Close to Comfort. Yeah.
I don't remember that show at all.
If you watch it, Audrey Meadows played Muriel's mother. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Have a good night, man.
Take care.
Bye.
You too.
Have a good night. How about have a good day? It's dark outside, so I'm thinking it's nighttime.
It's time to go to sleep.
No, it's time to get up and get to it. The Honeymooners, a bit of a throwback there, but it's just like what you were saying. I've seen the episodes so many times. There's only 39 of them, really. The most popular ones that you've seen them enough times where you go, I'm not even going to watch this anymore. I already know what happens. So I don't know. They still crack me up though. I still do laugh when Norton and Ralph get into it, and Art Carney, man, he played that role perfectly. He knew just how to get under his skin, and Jackie Gleason knew how to respond all the time. It is 6:57. We'll take a quick time out. Coming up, we'll be joined by Jim Zecca next hour. He's pitching a new idea for solar panels in the area. He's actually going to hold a press conference on that, but we'll talk to him first, and we'll get to much, much more. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. Of course, streaming, and I do have the YouTube feed up this morning. I'll say good morning to everybody watching on YouTube. A quick timeout. Back with more after this on WIBX.
This is Harry G., the heat pump expert from Country Suburban. With New York State planning to eliminate fossil fuels, heat pumps are the wave of the future. Heat pumps can save you up to 30% or more on your heating and cooling bills. Right now, you can receive up to $20,000 in heat pump incentives. Call 315-735-5300 for a free estimate.
Offer good while funds are available.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX. From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome. Your news, talk, and sports leader. A Town Square media station.
Pushing deeper into Gaza. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The Israeli military reports troops killing dozens of militants in Gaza during an overnight ground operation and hitting another 600 targets from the air.
Drone video taken by journalists throughout the Strip shows destruction completely wiped from the map many neighborhoods as the Israelis look to cordon off the northern part of Gaza. Their efforts here are focused on this one particular part of the Strip where they say there is a tunnel system beneath Gaza and also a number of different Hamas positions.
Fox's Trey Yanks. Police have retaken control meantime of an airport in Russia stormed by protesters after a plane arrived from Israel.
The airliner had flown from Tel Aviv in Israel to Makhachkala Airport in Russia's mainly Muslim Dagestan region. According to Russian media, a large group of mostly young men broke through security barriers. Social media video shows many of them chanting and waving Palestinian flags. Authorities say 60 people have been arrested, but the riot caused around 20 injuries.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Hundreds of people pack a church in Lewiston, Maine, with hundreds more outside for a vigil honoring the 18 people killed in last Wednesday's mass shooting.
We have friends that are still suffering because they have families that are still not out of the woods. So for us, it's more about being here for them.
13 people were injured in the shooting. President Biden will issue an executive order today outlining regulations for artificial intelligence systems, including testing to make sure they can't be used to produce nuclear or biological weapons. A judge in Colorado starts hearing arguments today over whether Donald Trump can be kept off the ballot under the 14th Amendment's ban on insurrectionists.
We're going to crush crooked Joe Biden next November. We're going to make America great again.
The former president campaigning in Sioux City, Iowa. The judge overseeing his federal election subversion case reimposes a gag order banning public comments targeting court personnel, potential witnesses, or the special counsel's team. Trump calls it unconstitutional. America's listening to Fox News.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword SAVE NOW. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
Who is there for the families left behind when a service member or first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our nation's homeless veterans? And who helps our nation keep its vow to never forget 9/11? The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. This charity keeps its word. Honor our nation's greatest heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
We have a light rain and 43 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX News Time 7:03. This news update brought to you by Carl's Furniture, now hiring over-the-road tractor-trailer drivers. A $2,500 sign-on bonus, brand new equipment, and you'll be home weekly. Contact Mike at 315-527-6111. Well, the Wynn Hospital in downtown Utica officially opened its doors on Sunday. Approximately 250 patients were transported from St. Elizabeth Medical Center and from the St. Luke's campus to the new Wynn Hospital. However, there was a bit of an issue. As final preparations were made, this was according to WKTV, the air handling system on the operating floor, the second floor, and the cardiac cath labs, there's an issue there. They said that it was working properly, but it did not meet expectations. So they're hoping to get that corrected early next week. There will be no major surgeries at the Wynn until that issue is corrected. And a reminder again to everybody, if you have an emergency or an appointment and you typically went to either St. Luke's or St. Elizabeth Medical Center, you need to now head to the Wynn Hospital in downtown Utica. Officials say they will have ambulances stationed at each of the facilities in case there is an emergency and someone goes to one of those now closed facilities. An investigation underway after threats were made toward Jewish students who attend Cornell University. Officials at the Ithaca School say threats were posted on a website not associated with the school and were targeted toward the Center for Jewish Living on campus. The school president says threats of violence are not acceptable and the person responsible will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Anyone with information is asked to contact police in that case. Central New York drivers saving a little bit of money when it comes to filling up their vehicles. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel here in the Utica Rome market is now at $3.76. That's down a penny from yesterday, 6 cents over the past week and 17 cents over the past month. Statewide, the average is $3.74 a gallon. Nationwide, the average price is $3.49. And, of course, Halloween coming up tomorrow. We all know that nobody likes candy corn, but the State Division of Consumer Protection is putting out some simple tips to make sure that your kids can stay safe. It's recommended that kids only go trick-or-treating with a trusted adult and have a route planned out in advance. Also, they say place reflective tape on costumes to make sure they're easier to see in the dark. And they say parents make sure that you check all of the candy before the kids eat it to make sure that it is not contaminated. WIBX News Time 7:06. Your Weather Center forecast comes to you from Eyewitness News. A rainy Monday on tap. Rain expected early today and chance of showers again this afternoon. Today's high just 47 degrees. We do have a chance of showers overnight tonight as well. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a low of 32. Slight chance of snow showers early in the day Tuesday. Then that could change over to rain. However, by the afternoon tomorrow, we will have sunny skies. Tomorrow's high just 45. Wednesday, a chance of snow showers again early in some areas. Partly sunny by the afternoon with a high of 46. By Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 48. Right now, we have a light rain, 42 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:07. All right, in sports, an ugly day yesterday for the Giants. The Jets pick up the victory in the Battle of MetLife Stadium. It came in overtime, 13-10. Greg Zuerlein had 2 field goals, one as time expired in regulation, and then the other one was the final play of overtime. The Jets now improved to 4-3 on the season. They'll host the Chargers coming up in Week 9. A sad day for the Giants. Tyrod Taylor completed just 4 of 7 passes for 8 yards. He left the game early with a rib injury. Tommy DeVito, who played for a while at Syracuse University, had the only touchdown of the day for the Giants, a 6-yard score. When he was in the game, though, they refused to pass the ball. They refused to pass. He threw a couple of screens to Barkley, and he may have had a throw to Darius Slayton. But I think it was for negative yardage. You got to be kidding me. The Giants now fall to 2-6. They visit the Raiders coming up in Week 9. Elsewhere in the NFL, Justin Herbert threw for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Chargers crushed the Bears last night, 30-13 on Sunday Night Football. The Chargers now jumped ahead 24-7 at halftime as the team moves to 3-4. Elsewhere, the Broncos stunned the Chiefs 24-9 in Denver. How about that one, Smitty?
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes had not a good game, and guess who wasn't in attendance either?
Oh, is that why? Is that why they lost?
No, they showed a stat. They showed a stat during the game with Taylor Swift in attendance. Travis Kelce, I think it was like over 115 yards. Without Taylor Swift in attendance, it was like 34 yards.
Oh my goodness. Unreal. Okay, so a stunner yesterday as, like I said, the Broncos beat the Chiefs. The Bengals handed the San Francisco 49ers their third straight loss, 31-17. The Eagles improved to an NFL best 7-1 as they beat the Commanders 38-31. Look at all the offense in that game. Week 8 wraps up in Detroit tonight. The Lions host the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Our coverage of the game begins at 7:30. Let's see. Game 3 of the World Series coming up tonight from Arizona. It's the Diamondbacks and Rangers. The best-of-7 series tied at 1 game apiece. The Diamondbacks won 9-1 on Saturday, taking Game 2 after they blew Game 1, a 2-run lead in the 9th inning. The winner, of course, tonight, whoever takes with the series tied 1-1, whoever takes Game 3 wins 69% of the time, almost 70% of the time. First pitch tonight set for just after 8 p.m., and the series is televised on Fox. Some NBA action. The Nets visit the Hornets tonight. The Knicks visit the Cavaliers coming up tomorrow. And in NASCAR, Smitty, you might have a recap of this. I do not have that in front of me. I'm still shell-shocked about the miserable Giants. I know our backup got hurt, but you can't put a kid in the game who you're not comfortable letting throw a pass. You've got to be kidding me. It's 7:10. First News, Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
But I don't want to get a flu shot.
You don't want to get the flu again. It's just a teensy little poke.
Hi, guys. I know you don't like needles, so I brought Fuzzy.
What is that?
It's a device that uses vibration and ice to help take the sting out of shots.
See, hun, that wasn't so bad.
Wait, you did it already?
Yep, Fuzzy helps. And Kinney is the only pharmacy that has him.
I'm gonna tell everyone I know.
Great. They can schedule online at kinneydrugs.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Bob Cardillo. Experience from day one.
When 9/11 happened, Bob was called. When Katrina happened, Bob was called. When Utica University, ConMed, and PAR needed to expand, they called on Bob.
Now you can call on Bob and put Bob's plans to work for you. Using his extensive experience, Bob has plans to reduce crime, plans to keep our city clean and the roads repaired, plans to revitalize our neighborhood and engage our youth, plans to promote our economic development and keep the next generation here in Utica. November 7th, vote Bob Cardillo, Mayor of Utica.
I'm Bob Cardillo. Put my leadership experience to work for you as the next mayor of Utica.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
Everything is delivered these days. Whatever you need, you can place an order and it arrives right on your doorstep. It's about convenience. And at Bremer's Wine and Liquor, we're all about making things easy and affordable too. Let Bremer's deliver all your favorite wine and liquor directly to your door. We've got you covered. First, we guarantee the lowest price on the area's biggest selection of wine and spirits. Second, we guarantee the lowest delivery price too, and we promise to get it to you on time. Just visit bremerswineandliquor.com, place your order, request delivery, and it's done. Or save $5 off your first order with our mobile app. You just sit back, relax, and wait for your order to arrive, often the same day. You'll save money and save time. And who doesn't want that? Local delivery from Bremer's Wine and Liquor. It's convenience and low prices, guaranteed. So download our app or visit bremerswineandliquor.com.
This is Jacob Morgan, born and raised in Rome, asking you to vote for James Herchuk for county legislator, a Navy veteran, former New Hampshire state legislator, and retired business manager who now wants to work for us. He's smart, tough, fair, and honest, and he loves Rome as his new home. If you're ready for change in Oneida County government, vote James Herchuk.
Thanks for the kind words, Jacob. You know I want to make a difference in Rome now that I'm retired. With the time now and some pretty good experience in tough management situations, I want to change direction in the county with my top priority to cut taxes first. Folks, it helps to remember my name as it's not his check, it's her check. So this is James Herchuk asking you to vote for change with me on Election Day. Thank you.
Hi, this is Kira Meelan. After almost a century in business, Meelan's Carpet One is known for many things. Our commitment to customers, for example. We go above and beyond to make your shopping experience exceptional from start to finish. We're also known for quality installation. Our experienced installers are like part of the family. They've been with us for years and they do an incredible job. But one thing everyone knows us for is Karastan area rugs and carpets. And this month is National Karastan Month. Karastan area rugs and carpets offer unmatched quality and timeless beauty for your home. Many of the choices available come with a lifetime stain warranty. And with the lowest prices of the season, no interest financing, and up to $1,000 in savings, National Karastan Month is the best time to invest in new carpet or area rugs. So this month, stop by Meelan's Carpet One on Old Commercial Drive in Yorkville, across from Joe Tahan's, where the good Meelan feeling means incredible savings and financing on Karastan area rugs and carpet.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, we're back. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Bill is under the weather today, and it's going around. I actually know a couple of people who are sick, and I don't know. I think you can hear it in my voice. It's that dry. This happens every year when we turn the heat on. Everything just dries out in the house and in the building and everywhere you go. Ugh. Anyway, I hope everybody's feeling good out there today. I know it's a rainy, dreary kind of day that we're looking at, and we do have a chance of snow showers tomorrow, overnight tonight. An overnight low falling to about 32, 33 degrees, depending on your location. And over the weekend, when we had some nice weather, at least on Friday, it was a little less nice on Saturday, and then Sunday just took a turn. But early voting opened up over the weekend. Good morning. We got Jim Zecca, candidate for 19th District, Oneida County Ledge. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
Thanks for
I'm very
coming in.
disappointed that Mr. Keeler is not here today. I was looking for a nice discussion today with Mr. Keeler, but I'm sure you will be asking me tough questions as well.
You can't have a nice discussion with me? You have dodged him the last few times, and it's funny because it wasn't intentional either time. The last, I think you were here. Bill was here the last time you were on.
Yes, he was. He was.
But the time before that, also, there was something that kind of popped up, a family situation, and he wasn't able to join us when you were in studio.
I'm sorry he's not here, and I hope he feels well.
I hope he feels better too.
Yep.
All right, so early voting opened up over the weekend. All right, let's talk about a couple of things. Let's first of all jump into the county budget. What do you like? What don't you like?
Well, bottom line is this is what the county executive calls a historic budget. As Mr. Hennessy has said, there's really nothing historic about it except it's outrageous. It's over $500 million. $500 million. Comparing that to some of the other counties, I know the county executive said we shouldn't be comparing it to other counties because there's other circumstances. Well, there certainly is other circumstances, and we got a budget sheet that we broke out, which compares Oneida County to many of the other counties in New York State and comparable counties as well. It has to be comparable. It can't be compared to like Herkimer County or.
Sure, that's much smaller.
Right. But bottom line is human services. Just so people know, it's broken down into if you go online, you could see some of this information online. But human services, which includes social services, is 42.4% of that $500 million budget. And with that, we have talked about a program to address that issue of social services, which includes Medicaid, and all the services that go along with social services. We'd like to propose, and we have talked about this at a press conference, proposing a program to put people back to work that are on social services currently now. It's called a work program. And
what would you've proposed things like this before, right? Essentially, if you're receiving benefits,
social service benefits,
right?
You would be if you're able-bodied. Of course, there's some folks that are just unable to work, and that's why the program is there to help those folks. But if there are people that are able-bodied to work, we have a situation now, and you've heard this from all the elected officials. We can't find people to work in government. We can't find people to work at DPW. We can't find people to work at the wastewater treatment facility to operate these facilities. We can't find people in the Parks Department. You've heard the Parks Commissioner in Utica said we can't even find laborers to maintain the parks in the summer.
Right.
Well, this type of program, along with the Department of Social Services, we can combine the two programs with the city, not only City of Utica, City of Rome could participate in this type of a program. And it would be a training program for folks that are on social services to be gainfully employed in government programs, not just private entities or non-for-profit organizations, but to train them on the job and then eventually getting off of, again, the social services benefits that they get now. And on top of it, Medicaid is the key. Medicaid is a huge burden right now on our budget. And you hear that from the county executive all the time. He blames the state. Well, let's not just keep blaming the state and do something about it locally. This is a way we could do something about it locally. My opponent at one of my debates, Mr. Julian, accused me of forcing single moms that are home taking care of their children to force them to go to work. I never said that. That was never the intention. But I thought about that a little bit after the debate, and it was kind of a little bit insulting to me because when I met my wife, she was a single mom, and she worked her butt off. She worked 2 jobs, did not take in any kind of benefits. She worked her way out of taking care of her child, and her child, which is my stepson, has done very well for himself, and did not take any social service programs to get there. She worked her way out of it. So that's the situation we're looking at here. We think that a jobs program would be a good thing, and it would reduce, again, ultimately, the burden on this human services section of social services of the budget, which is, again, 42.4%. There's nothing even close to it. Public safety is 15%, which really, we need more help with public safety, obviously, with what's going on across the county, not only in just Utica or Rome, but there's issues around the county in hot spots. Public Works, believe it or not, which includes our plow drivers and such, and maintaining the roads, is only 13% of our budget. Education is 5.5%. Economic development, which is extremely important to our county, is only 2.77% of the budget. Then there's general government, which is 12.6%, and then they have other.
Hang on,
as
before we move on to that
Yeah.
stuff, though, I want to talk more about this program.
The work program, okay.
All right. So essentially, what you're proposing, do you have any idea how many people would qualify for this program, and what constitutes able-bodied? Would they have to pass a physical? What are we talking about?
Excuse me. I don't know exactly how many people are on social services, but obviously from the budget, it's high. And then again, all the complaints that we get from the elected officials always hone in on Medicaid services, and that we're not getting enough from the federal and state government.
Right.
So it is a huge number. And again, as we get more, and again, this other issue about the migrants, you now understand why our county executive has a ban on taking in any more migrants to this community, because we would be obligated to put these folks on social services for whatever length of time there is, and all the benefits that go along with it. So it's a huge burden, would be a huge burden on Oneida County if we did that. So getting back to the program, though, there is a division already in the department, but I don't think they're not doing enough. It's the employment division, and here is just wording right from the county social service website. It's committed to a philosophy that the best way to succeed in the job market is to join it and develop work habits and skills on the job by coordinating with our local BOCES, Working Solutions Career Centers, community agencies, as well as the disability community. The Employment Division of Social Services is able to provide a wide range of job-seeking and retention activities. We need to expand that to government now. Government entities throughout Oneida County need help. So let's get this training program associated with our municipalities and start filling positions. When I lived in New Hampshire, and I talked to Jimmy Herchek, who was here as well, he's running with me, and he supports this program. In New Hampshire, when I was there at that time, this was, again, 40 years ago, but the towns actually were in charge of what they call the welfare program back then. And when I was working for some of the municipalities there, they did bring in folks that were on those programs and trained them to operate a wastewater treatment plant, to get involved with truck driving, getting their CDL licenses, which is the commercial driver's licenses. And it works. And again, now I'll go back, and Mr. Julian accused me of talking about the past. Well, if things worked in the past, why not reinvent them again and use them again? And it was the old CEDAR program. I don't know if you probably don't remember. This is way back in the 70s, but President Nixon actually signed the document, and the CEDAR program was the Comprehensive Employment and Training Act. And in my earlier days down in Brooklyn, when I was growing up, that was my first job through that program. I was able to get a job at the Prospect Park Zoo as a zookeeper, and then again, eventually coming up to Utica and becoming a zookeeper in Utica when I first came up here. And that program
hold on.
worked well.
Who would, when you gave an example of driving trucks and things like that, getting a CDL license, who would assume the cost of that? The county?
The county actually has the program in place right now. There is a training program, except instead of being with a not-for-profit organization or an ARC type organization for folks with disabilities, it would be with the municipalities. And remember, they get funding. They complain it's not enough, but it's like 75% of social services, I believe, is paid for. We could do a fact check on that, but about 75% of the cost is paid for by the state and federal government. So when you set up a program like this, you also get funding for that type of a program as well to push it forward. And then you fill these important key jobs that you need to fill, like again, public service or public works and general labor positions with the Parks Department. And I worked these programs. I did this in Madison County. I was we had a debate on, well, that was Madison County. That's a small county. Well, even more so, if you were able to do it in a small county, why can't we do it here in Oneida County and do it with, again, the municipalities jointly with municipalities like Utica and Rome. And not only that, there are smaller municipalities, townships, little villages that need as much help as the bigger municipalities. They can't find people at work. So,
yeah, no, it's a problem all over the place.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm still struggling, though, to understand how do you qualify an able-bodied person? How many people would we have who would be eligible for this? And you're saying the county already has something like this, but you want to expand it,
right? Because again, it's private entities or non-for-profits, but we really could expand this quite a bit and get help that we desperately need, and train these people, for these folks for a gainful employment. Jeff, I worked with Madison County for 30 years in the solid waste program. We had a great program, and we partnered with the ARC, Madison Cortland ARC, and we were able to get a HUD grant to build the recycling facility on the site. But in order to qualify for that, we had to guarantee jobs to the low to moderate income individuals in the county or people with disabilities. So that's where we came up with the plan to work with the county. They were able to get a 50% grant to build the recycling center, and we signed a long-term 10-year agreement with ARC to manage and operate that facility for the county, and gave gainful employment to folks with disabilities, which was a great program. And when I retired, many folks were still working at the recycling center when I was there, and they eventually retired. So they got retirement benefits, they got off of social services, they got health insurance, because they were with the county program.
All right, so
they work. These programs do work. We also want to expand it to an inmate work program to do the same type of thing. That's going to be a little different, but that's another possibility, is to work with the Sheriff's Department, the state. And again, I've worked with all these programs at the Madison County landfill site. We had Camp Georgetown, which was a work camp that unfortunately our friend Mr. Cuomo.
Davey? What did Davey?
I'm pointing at Mr. Cuomo there.
We have his picture on the wall.
Governor Cuomo on the wall there that eliminated that program and closed down Camp Georgetown. But it was a great work program. The inmates that were there really appreciated getting out of that facility and doing something productive. And we work with them for training them how to operate equipment, how to separate scrap metal into various components. And then after they got out of jail, they went, some of them even had sent letters back that they were employed with a recycling facility down in New York City after their experience at Madison County recycling facility.
So I'm getting a bunch of messages here. Let's see here. Somebody says, the problem with taking people off of free services to get up and go to work programs are transportation, childcare, and attitude. Not to mention Oneida County's mental health problems need much consideration. There are not enough psychiatrists to accept Medicare and Medicaid. Therefore, you have people who cannot afford to pay for services, so they just get on living without the mental health care that they need. Somebody else says here, social services and Medicaid are federal and state programs with mandated eligibility. The Welfare to Work program that's been talked about for years has always existed. He's been told this time and again, but doesn't listen and does not believe that it's being done. You want to react to that?
Give me examples of where it's being done, and again with the municipalities.
You
this
read
is
it off the
specifically,
website, didn't you?
Yes, but this is specifically with the municipalities. We're talking about helping the municipalities that are looking for employment. And again, when and this is right from their website, when an individual who is in receipt of temporary assistance obtains a job, the Employment Division case manager continues to work with the individual, assisting with any difficulty he or she may have until the individual is earning enough income to have the temporary assistance case closed. So, again, they are doing these type of programs, and they do have daycare. Actually, there is daycare for folks that need daycare. That's in the program.
All right, so how would you expand this? I want to move on to South Utica and the hospital situation and what your thoughts are on a possible reuse of St. E's, because I know that's in your district. Do you want to add anything else on this?
Yeah, the way we would expand it is, again, what we tried to do in 2011 when I was on the council. We had a resolution for the mayor at the time to negotiate an agreement with Oneida County Department of Social Services to structure a welfare to work program in order to assist the city of Utica in maintaining blighted city-owned properties and clean and repair city streets. But this is going one step further. This is training in addition to that for these folks, training in specific jobs, to help them with getting a CDL license.
In many cases, isn't there you have to have at least a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree in some of these positions the county hires for? I know probably not working, running a lawnmower.
Yeah, some of these positions, but again, through social services, they do try to get these folks to get their education as well. So at the same time, get your education. Education is important for someone that wants to improve themselves and improve their life. So I encourage that. I encourage they continue to do that, and there are programs out there for assistants to go to school. And the trade schools. We got the trade program coming up with Proctor High School. That was approved by the people. People voted on that, and that the construction of that program, that site, is going to happen very soon. So we want to promote that. That's the trades.
What do you think should be done with? What do you think is going to happen with the hospital in South Utica, St. E's?
I'm extremely concerned for South Utica because that is my district, the 19th legislative district. I'm not liking what I'm hearing from the general public and the citizens that have been involved with negotiating in the past with the hospital. We did hear just recently, and I'll give credit where credit's due, Mr. Julian, who is a current legislator, had sent us an email stating that there is going to be a community meeting mid-November. So it'll be after the elections, but that's okay. And the public is going to be invited, but we have not officially gotten word from Brian Thomas yet. I personally called Brian Thomas myself, who is the planning director for the city of Utica, and he did confirm that there will be a meeting sometime in November, and it'll be in a central location. It looks like it's going to be at the Parkway Center in the gymnasium, which is good because they're going to need the room for that.
Look, I hate to say this, and I, with all due respect to everybody in South Utica, this is what I hear a lot of. Mm-hmm. We don't want this. We don't want that. We don't want this. We don't want that. That is a multi-million-dollar albatross sitting there. You've got a huge, multi-story, old hospital.
Absolutely.
How much money to knock it down?
Millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars. I think the estimate from my opponent said, based on what the county was saying, it was around $10 million. I really think that's a lowball estimate, to be honest with you. Because remember, we talked many, many years, 20 years ago when Mr. Julian was mayor, and we were promised that the Brigham building, remember the Brigham building at the psychiatric center, was going to come down under the Pataki administration. They set aside $3 million for just that building alone.
Yeah,
and that was 20 years ago. That never happened, by the way.
I would expect that it's going to be, much more than $10 million, probably in the range of, 40 to 50 or more?
Yeah, and I'm concerned.
I know that sounds outrageous, but
yeah.
What do you have there?
Well, I'm concerned that it's going to turn into something like this. This was in Queens in a really beautiful location along the ocean, a hospital that was abandoned 20 years ago, and that's the condition it looks like now. And if you look at some of the pictures
So
in there,
and who do you look? This is the problem. Who's going to pay to knock that down, or for the next project to come in?
My opponent is telling everyone that the county or city of Utica should pay for the demolition of the buildings. That's unacceptable. I mean, this all should have been figured out years ago when the decision was made for the hospital to be built downtown. All of this should have been planned. We shouldn't be having public meetings now. They closed yesterday. The facility was closed. Yeah. Now we're going to start having public meetings to determine what the hell we're going to do with
I've attended a few public meetings, and look, again, all due respect to those who live in South Utica, if I lived in South Utica, I would have the same exact concerns.
Yeah.
But it's
this is a special historic neighborhood.
Can I just say, this is like, to me, this is similar to what Brett and Brock were saying with no hospital downtown, with that corridor that they said, no, someone's going to come in and invest millions of dollars here and they're going to rebuild. Who's going to come in there, knock that down, and then invest millions of dollars there in the middle of a neighborhood?
Well, again, it's all about economic development. If you bring economic development projects into the community, that's what's going to draw people in and invest in your community, like we're trying to do
say
up
that
at
again?
the economic development projects. You know, bringing other economic development projects, that's what brings people in to invest in an
like
area.
a shopping center there or houses?
Well, no,
that's
I'm
the
talking about outside the area, like what's happening up at, at the business parks. You know, where we're actually having companies come in. That brings jobs, that brings people. So then you'll get people that will say, well, I see there is growth in the community. We'll start developing in those areas close by. And that's kind of what's happening now in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, I could see some type of housing going in there, but, you know, I don't know if it's new construction or if they make a big like a housing unit where it's, you know.
But again, there's been, I guess we were told that there were consultants hired, and they looked at, and there were RFPs out there, but there's no interest. And again, it was right in the middle of, in all honesty, it was right in the middle of COVID, and nobody was investing in anything, you know, when COVID
I think this
hit.
is the second study, right, that the hospital.
This is the second one.
Yeah,
I think for both hospitals, correct?
I know at least for St. E's. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I almost feel like the money on the consultants is being wasted.
Right, and where is the money? Nobody's talking about that. I've asked, where is the money coming from for the consultants? Now, I was told, but again, I can't confirm it, that the city is paying half the cost, and the MVHS hospital is paying the other half of the cost. Now, why the county is not involved in this one, I don't know. I mean, the county executive keeps saying that.
They're paying for the parking garage, though, right? The county?
Yeah, they're paying for the parking garage. That was a debacle. That should have been. It was supposed to be somewhat split. I think it was a 60-40 agreement.
Well, let me ask you this. It's interesting because your opponent was kind of advocating for your district, his district.
Right.
And saying, look, we're getting double billed here. We shouldn't have to pick this up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and are you disagree with that?
No.
If the city's paying for it and the county's paying for it, the parking garage.
Right.
His argument was people in South Utica are paying twice. You're paying some here and some here, but you're getting double billed.
He didn't bring that up. Tim Trent brought that up years ago when this was all discussed. And
in any event, he advocated for it and was on this program and had a voice on the county board,
but
Tim
the county actually had no choice. They had to pay for it because there was no option. The option A failed because remember what happened there. The county executive and the mayor signed an internal agreement amongst themselves. But when you do that, you have to make it final, you had to have the county legislators pass a resolution to support that agreement. The county executive had his rubber stamp it and get it approved. When it went to the council, the new council, after it was negotiated, there was a new council that came in. They said, no, we're not signing that. We're not agreeing to that. So that's where all the problems started. When the council said to the mayor, we're not signing that agreement. We don't feel we're in financial shape to do that. So they did not do it, and that it had to go back to the county to make that decision. So they were forced to make that decision. Either there was going to be again,
which I'm saying, though, you agree with that, right?
Yes,
or no?
but it was tied to the. It was also
the way you talk about it. You sound like that you don't agree with it. The way you're.
Well, I do agree with it, but he had no choice. He had to vote for that, or else there would be no hospital downtown, basically. Because remember what the state said.
The MOU was needed in order to secure the funding. Yes,
not the MOU, the actual parking garage, because that was the deal. They said we're not funding the parking garage. The state. Originally in all this, in the very beginning, we were told the hospital and the parking garage was going to be funded by the state. The state came back and pulled the funding. They said, we don't have enough money to pay for the parking garage. So then the county and the city had to decide, are we going to build it or not? And they said, if you don't build the parking garage, you're not getting the hospital. So the hospital funding, the 300, whatever it was, 300 and some odd million. And that's exactly what happened. They were forced to get that parking garage done one way or the other. So if the city didn't fund it, the county would fund it. And we're still double billed. We're paying for that. The city taxpayers are paying county tax, so we're paying for that as well now.
What do you want voters to know?
What I want voters to know is please vote for me. You could actually start voting. Early voting started on Saturday. And I have the experience. I have 30 years of service with Madison County government, and I am retired now, so I have the time, I have the experience, and I have the know-how to do the job. And I'm hoping that folks in my district realize that and support my campaign and vote for me on Election Day, or actually, they have an opportunity to vote between now and Election Day. Early voting started.
I know you're disappointed that I didn't yell at you like Bill would. So, I'm kidding.
Well, maybe next time. We'll see.
I know you wanted a more spirited discussion.
That's okay. Yeah, that's all right. This was good, Jeff.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in, as always. And
thank you. Folks, remember, vote now or vote on Election Day. You have opportunity to vote at in the city of Utica area. You could vote at MVCC, or you could vote at the New Hartford town offices, which is the old Gander Mountain.
Yeah, over by the marquee
building.
there.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim. We'll talk with your opponent, Tim Julian, coming up later this week. Appreciate your time. We'll take a quick time out and come back. This will scratch your head, Jim. You're not going to believe this. People are in AI relationships. If you haven't heard about this,
no, I haven't. Oh my!
Make sure you tune us back in when you get back in the car. We'll explain coming up. It's First News Keeler in the Morning on WIBX.
Stop into Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies. Plus, simply do a comfort test on our mattresses and get a $25 prepaid Visa card. Names like the Number Bed by Instant Comfort, Tempur-Pedic, Purple, Sealy, and more. Hurry, this is a limited time offer.
It's open enrollment for Medicare Part D. Kinney Drugs offers a free online tool to compare plans based on your specific prescriptions. Or call 844-653-5063 to compare plans and enroll right over the phone.
Hi, I'm Mike Galimi. I'm running for mayor. Over the last year, I've personally walked your neighborhoods and listened to you. I've built a resume of integrity and trust, committed to leading an open government as council president. Now it's time for a new style of leadership. I have the experience, knowledge, and plan to move this city forward as mayor. Utica has a choice to make. Professionalism over inexperience, responsibility over uncertainty, honesty over corruption. Here's the thing. I value facts, trust, and the concerns of the people above all else. On November 7th, vote Mike Galimi for mayor. Paid for by Mike for Mayor.
At SimpliSafe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
I'm Anthony Pacenti. As county executive, I tackled tough issues. I acted to make our schools safer for our children. I immediately stopped the immoral attempt to bust illegal migrants into Oneida County. I continue to work every day to combat the scourge of the opiate epidemic in our community. I will continue to tackle tough issues head on, and I won't let bad decisions in Albany stop us. And I ask for your vote on November 7th.
Leadership and a vision for the future is how Oneida County is moving forward. Oneida County Executive Tony Picenti.
We've made significant investments in healthcare and public safety, created new opportunities in tourism and youth sports, and invested big in high-tech, state-of-the-art research, resulting in high-quality jobs right here at home.
Oneida County is working, growing, and moving forward. On November 7th, let's keep it that way. Re-elect Tony Picenti, Oneida County Executive.
Paid for by Friends of Tony Picenti.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, getting a bunch of messages here after the fact. I want to say thanks to Joe Beatrice because he pointed something out, and actually on his way out the door, Jim Zecca agreed with this, but I just want to clarify one thing. This is Councilman Joe Beatrice who says, tell Jim nothing ever came in front of the council for a garage. Now, I believe the way it was described back then was that there was no appetite on the council for funding that project. So there was never any legislation, but obviously the city turned away from that initial, I believe Rob Palmieri said the council didn't have any appetite to fund that garage. So ultimately the decision was made that they were backing out of that MOU, if I understand that. I also have a message here that says, municipalities who choose to accept these workers, Jim was talking about like essentially what used to be called the Welfare to Work program. Municipalities who choose to accept these workers must cover their workers' compensation. They don't want to do that, so they don't go get workers. If they will accept that, then they do get the workers. There have been these workers in the county building for years as a regular course of business, and that is somebody who used to be with Oneida County. 315-736-0186 if you want to chime in. You can also send us a message via the WIBX 950 mobile app. And again, we will talk with Tim Julian later this week. Tim Julian is the incumbent who represents South Utica, the 19th District, which is in Oneida County. That's the 19th District. Essentially, that's a big chunk of South Utica. He is currently the elected member representing that area on the Oneida County Board. I also want to get his thoughts as well. I mean, it's something we've talked about before, what happens with St. Elizabeth, and for that matter, what happens with St. Luke's. It will be interesting to see. Time will only tell, but I don't know that there's an easy solution, and it's what I used to say to Brock and Brett. I know you say that there's going to be someone who's going to come in and just, empty their pockets and pour millions of dollars into this particular neighborhood, but it hasn't happened, and I don't know when you think it's going to, but I guess we will wait and see. All right, we're going to go to the phone lines now where we're joined by Eben Brown from Fox News Radio. One of the things we briefly touched on, and it has been an issue here in Oneida County, County Executive Anthony Picenti signing that bill to prevent migrants from being bussed up to Oneida County. Something in the state of Texas, Eben Brown from Fox News joining us, where there could be possible migrant arrests under a bill that is close to being signed by the governor there. Good morning, Eben.
Good morning. Yeah, so the Texas state legislature is advancing a bill that will likely pass and very likely be signed by Governor Greg Abbott that would grant state and local police the ability to arrest migrants on immigration law, breaking immigration law, and transport them back to points of entry along the border and try to have them sent through to Mexico. And that's something that is usually not the purview of state and local law enforcement. It's something that's pretty exclusively federal. But the state has been contending for a long time, and they've taken measures, and they've gotten into tiffs with the Biden administration over this, that the Biden administration's not doing its job in terms of enforcing the border. So they are having to take steps to ensure the safety of their state. So I suspect that this law will pass soon. It'll be signed quickly, and then someone will sue over it, claiming it's unconstitutional. It'll be enjoined somehow by a federal district court, and they will try to work their way up through the appeal system. Whether or not the Supreme Court wants to deal with this is yet to be seen, but maybe they will.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if the Supreme Court, as you mentioned, does take it up. But has the White House responded to this? Because it seems like the federal government is allowing these folks in, and I don't think that they have official paperwork, but there is some type of a documentation because we are willingly sending them to different states, including New York. But then for another state to come in and arrest them and say you're here illegally, but if the federal government doesn't say so, I'm lost as to how Texas would have that authority.
Well, that's the big question here. Obviously, Texas may not have the power to enforce a federal law, but if they have a state law on the books that has to do with being in the country illegally and being in the state illegally, that maybe they could enforce something like that. Then, of course, comes the question of deportation and whether or not they have the ability to carry that out. That's probably something that a court is going to have to decide and then double check and triple check.
And has this come up at any of the White House press briefings with KJP?
There has been an ongoing, let's say, dispute between the White House and the state of Texas regarding Texas's border enforcement attempts. For instance, the state of Texas put up fencing along borderlands that were unsecured, and federal agents came by and snipped that fencing down, and people wondering why. So there's a constant, I think, war of words over this, and I suspect that it will increase with this bill passing.
All right, thank you, Eben Brown from Fox News. Have a good day.
You too.
7:54. It'd be interesting to see what happens here because I just don't think that would, if the Supreme Court takes it up, I don't know that they would rule in favor of the state of Texas there. It's like you have the federal government allowing them in, and then the state of Texas taking them into custody. And if they're not allowed to deport them, I don't know the exact cost, but I mean, imprisoning somebody, if they're arresting them, if the plan is to hold them behind bars, I don't know that that's any cheaper. Certainly they couldn't work, although I guess they could put them to work behind bars. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens with that situation, but obviously it has had an impact not only in the state of Texas, but all across the country.
Yeah, but Governor Abbott is always fighting with them, with the migrants.
No, I know
he
is. I know.
Every day you see it on the news. Governor Abbott did this. Governor Abbott did this.
I'm hearing this morning from, let's see here, Oneida County Executive Anthony Picenti, who said here this morning, he really has no idea what he's talking about. This is on Jim Zecca. He's wrong on all of this. I love the guys who are not involved with any of these projects yet claim they know what happened. So that is County Executive Anthony Picenti responding there to Jim Zecca's appearance here on the show this morning. Did you see Bill Maher over the weekend, any chance?
No.
Do you know who his special guest was?
Pete Davidson?
Andrew Cuomo.
Was he really?
Yeah,
oh,
and
wow.
Melissa DeRosa, his assistant, who obviously just came out with that book. And he is totally backing away from taking any responsibility for what happened with what forced him to leave office. He is actually pointing the finger at Letitia James, saying essentially she went after him because she wants his job. They pointed out multiple times that several. I think it was 3 or 4. I'm not sure exactly the number. 4 or 5 maybe.
Can you catch this somewhere on video? On
Yeah,
online?
you can find it on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Basically saying that the things that he didn't amount to sexual harassment. He talked about the kiss at the wedding where he kissed the woman on the cheeks and he grabbed her face.
The state trooper.
The state trooper. He said he put his hand on her stomach. He doesn't deny that, but he claims it was in a non-sexual way, essentially. Bill Maher kind of sided with him as they sat there and talked, but said that there was nothing really, when we hear about sexual assault or sexual allegations, inappropriateness in the workplace, etc., it usually amounts to more than that. So I don't know. There were also some cases that he talked about which didn't get much attention. And I remember this at the time, that there wasn't a ton of attention paid to this. But there were there were 11 cases. In at least a couple of them, there was, I think, legitimate questions as to the validity or the accurateness of the complaints. Essentially, one woman who worked in his office, I think for many years, had claimed that everybody in the office would corroborate what she said, yet nobody did. There was a woman who had made false allegations against somebody else while she was in college, and none of this stuff had come to light. Essentially, here's what I'm saying. Governor Cuomo said if he was, and he also took a couple shots at Biden, because he said, and he talked about the Tara Reid allegation.
Okay.
Tara Reid had claimed that she had been sexually assaulted by President Biden. And what Andrew Cuomo said was that he felt that in order to distance himself from that situation and to kind of make himself look better with all the hair-sniffing allegations, was that Biden didn't read the report, didn't care what the report said, just sided with the public outcry of he's got to step down. And if you remember, Biden told him to step down. And I was stunned. So he said if he was still in the governor's office, he would be running against Biden for president right now. And I believe he said
he could win.
Well, I think he could. I mean, Joe Biden, I'm not even talking about policies or anything like that. People have problems with his policies, but I mean, the guy is holding on by a string here. I mean, let's be honest. But anyway, what Cuomo said, I don't know if he blatantly said it, but he certainly suggested that he would run for governor of New York again. And he didn't specifically take shots at Governor Hochul, but he said there is a vacuum of leadership in New York State. And certainly that's who he's talking about, although he did not mention her by name. Is Governor Cuomo about to make a comeback? Are you kidding me? You can weigh in 315-736-0186 or on the app, WIBX 950, Utica, Rome.
Fox News, the message from a minister in Lewiston, Maine at a vigil for the 18 people killed, 13 injured in a mass shooting last week.
More people came together than could fit in Lewiston's Basilica of Saints Peter and Paul.
It's been awful. It's been horrible. But hopefully we're on our way to healing.
A screen was set up on the lawn to broadcast the interfaith vigil to the hundreds who could not fit inside.
Katie Brace in Lewiston reporting for Fox TV affiliate Boston 25 News. The city was on lockdown for 2 days until the shooting suspect was found dead. A Jewish center at Cornell University in New York is under guard because of violent threats against the school's Jewish students on an online forum about fraternities. The Gaza Health Ministry reports more than 8,300 Palestinians killed in Israeli military strikes since Hamas terrorists launched their sneak attack on Israel.
An Israeli military spokesman says dozens of Hamas fighters were killed in overnight operations in Gaza. Soldiers and armed vehicles from Israel expanding their operation to destroy the militant group, which killed over 1,400 Israelis in its terrorist attack on October 7th.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. House Republicans plan to vote this week on a standalone military aid package for Israel, among other business.
The first full week for new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has Congress voting on 3 appropriation spending bills that fund different parts of the government. The week could also see Republicans make progress on a short-term spending bill to keep the government open past the November 17th deadline. Congressman Michael Guest from Mississippi joining many GOP members in wanting one that goes until January to give lawmakers time to negotiate.
To come to some compromise on some final spending bills, and let's get those bills passed.
The House bills have included spending cuts President Biden has threatened to veto.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office calls Matthew Perry's cause of death inconclusive pending toxicology test. The actor was found dead at his home Saturday, 54 years old. America's listening to Fox News.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword SAVE NOW. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
Who is there for the families left behind when a service member or first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our nation's homeless veterans? And who helps our nation keep its vow to never forget 9/11? The Tunnel to Towers Foundation. More than 95 cents of every dollar you donate to Tunnel to Towers goes to its programs. This charity keeps its word. Honor our nation's greatest heroes. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
Still dealing with some rain showers, mostly cloudy skies, and 43 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaske. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Country Suburban. Well, the Wynn Hospital in downtown Utica officially opened its doors on Sunday very early. Of course, 6 a.m. was the official opening. Some 250 patients were transported from St. Elizabeth Medical Center and from St. Luke's Hospital to the new hospital in downtown Utica. However, there was a bit of a setback. This deals with the operating floor, the second floor, where also the cardiac cath lab is located. Officials say that there is some concern about the air handling system on the second floor. WKTV reports that the system was working, however, it did not meet expectations. It can only be tested once the areas were completely finished off, which is why they learned about the issue so late. MVH President and CEO Darlene Stromstead said it was very disappointing. It will require that we use an alternative location and divert the most complicated surgeries to other hospitals for the time being. They hope to have the situation fixed as early as next week. An investigation underway after threats were made toward Jewish students who attend Cornell University. Officials at the Ithaca School say threats were posted on a website not associated with the university and were targeted toward the Center for Jewish Living on campus. The school president says threats of violence are not acceptable and that the person who made the threats will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Anyone with information on that case is asked to call police. Halloween just around the corner, and the State Division of Consumer Protection has put some simple tips out to make sure that everyone stays safe. It is recommended that kids only go trick-or-treating with a trusted adult and to make sure that you have your route planned out in advance. Also, they say put reflective tape on the costumes of kids to make them stand out in the dark, of course, when they're in the roads, etc. And finally, parents should check all candy before the kids eat it to make sure that it has not been contaminated. And local gas prices continue to go down. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel in the Utica-Rome market is $3.74. That's down a penny from yesterday. Excuse me, we are at $3.76. That is down a penny from yesterday and down 7 cents from a week ago. Statewide, the average cost per gallon of regular fuel is at $3.74. Now, Richard is disputing my numbers here, and I'll tell you, Richard, stay tuned. I'll tell you what I found out when we come back after the break. WIBX News Time, 8:06. Your Weather Center forecast coming to you from Eyewitness News. A dreary day on tap today. Rain showers this morning. Chance of showers again this afternoon. Today's high 47 degrees. Chance of rain showers overnight, otherwise cloudy, and a low of 32. Tuesday morning, slight chance of a snow shower very early, and then rain showers possible late in the morning. Mostly sunny, though, by the afternoon with a high of 45. Wednesday, chance of snow showers again early, then a chance of rain later in the day. Partly sunny by the afternoon with a high of 46. Mostly sunny on Thursday and a high of 48. Right now, we have some light rain and 43 degrees. WIBX News Time coming up on 8:07. All right, in sports, the Giants totally embarrassed themselves yesterday. Tyrod Taylor left the game with an injury, and then former Syracuse quarterback Tommy DeVito came in. What's going on in there, Smitty? Your lights going on and off?
Yeah. Somebody's watching over me.
Tommy DeVito came in, and other than a couple of screen passes, I do not believe he attempted a pass to a wide receiver or a tight end. They ran the ball for the whole second half and beyond. It was unbelievable. The game went to overtime. The Jets get the win 13-10. This after the Giants forced a turnover on downs with just under a minute and a half to play. However, they could not get a first down. The Jets got the ball back. And while the Giants' defense looked good for much of the day yesterday, the Jets completed back-to-back passes for 29 yards, set up a game-tying field goal as time expired in regulation, and then Greg Zuerlein kicked another one in overtime. The Jets get the win in the Battle of MetLife Stadium. Ugh, bad taste in my mouth about that one yesterday. It was really, really ugly. The Jets are now 4-3. The Giants fall to 2-6. Elsewhere in the NFL, Justin Herbert, 3 touchdown passes last night as the Chargers blew out the Bears 30-13 on Sunday Night Football. Herbert and Los Angeles jumped ahead 24-7 at halftime, and they ultimately improved to 3-4. Elsewhere in Week 8, the Broncos stunned the Chiefs 29-4 in Denver. The Bengals over the 49ers, that's San Francisco's third straight loss, 31-17. The Eagles moved to an NFL best 7-1 as they held off the Commanders 38-31. Week 8 wraps up tonight. The Detroit Lions host the Las Vegas Raiders. Monday Night Football, our coverage of the game begins at 7:30. Game 3 of the World Series set for tonight. The Diamondbacks host their first World Series game since 2001. Arizona and Texas meet in Game 3. It's tied at 1 apiece. Texas will send Max Scherzer to the mound tonight. Rookie Brandon Pfaadt will be on the bump for the Snakes. In any best-of-7 series, tied at 1-1, the winner of Game 3 has gone on to take the series 69% of the time. First pitch will come just after 8 tonight, and that is televised on Fox. Of course, Syracuse was blown out 30-10 on Thursday night. They did not play this weekend per se, but they will be playing on Friday night. Smitty, a good weekend for Utica Pioneer hockey, huh? How about that? The ladies, first of all, the ladies won a tournament at the Nexus Center. I was at Nexus on Saturday, and the Pioneers women's hockey team won in overtime. Who were they playing? I'm trying to remember who they were playing. It was a 4-team tournament. It was Elmira. They did not play Elmira Saturday. Who did they play on Saturday? Oh, forgive me. I'm struggling here. I think it was Adrian. Maybe they beat Adrian. And in overtime, 2-1 was the final. A nice goal there for Whitney. And so they won that tournament, the inaugural tournament at the Nexus Center. The Pioneer men tied on Friday.
Yeah, 0-0.
And then won in overtime, 3-2?
Right.
On Saturday night. The Utica Comets picked up a victory on the road on Friday, but then lost at home. Was it 5-4 was the final on Saturday? Were you at that game?
No, I wasn't.
What, were you at the hockey game?
I was at nothing this weekend.
Oh, no. You were all excited this morning. I thought you were there for sure.
No, I just watched it online.
You were all pumped up. And in NASCAR, who are our final 4?
Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, and William Byron. They all go for the championship this Sunday in Phoenix.
Who are you pulling for?
I like to see Ryan Blaney win it because he's a Penske driver. And I like Penske because Rusty was my favorite driver. I really like to see Ryan Blaney win it.
And what do you think about Cuomo coming back?
No comment.
No comment. We still have our picture here.
And Syracuse Friday.
Syracuse plays Friday night, yeah. We still have our picture here of Governor Andrew Cuomo on the wall, which is when it's that little leering look where he's peeking in through your window.
Is her new book out that she wrote?
Yes,
Melissa
I believe
DeRosa?
so.
I'll have to see if I can. Be interesting to read it.
So I find it interesting that they're doing appearances together, and I know she has the book out, but are they a couple? I don't understand what's going on. The other thing I wanted to mention, and Smitty's jumped on the phone. He's going to do his own radio show in there for now. Who's that?
Joe Load with the Load Report.
Oh, great. I can't wait to hear it. Joe, go ahead. Throw him on for me. Thank you. Joe Load is online. But one more thing. Hey, one more thing on Cuomo. I find it interesting that he's out there doing book tours with DeRosa. I mean, I was stunned that they made a co-appearance, and it talks about her book and everything like that. But I do think it's odd that they're out there together like that. Here's what else I wanted to mention. You reminded me of something that she said in her book about Kathy Hochul, which was what?
That she's only good for ribbon cuttings.
If that's not a... It's funny because that didn't come from Cuomo. That came from DeRosa. I don't know.
Who was Cuomo's top assistant.
Yeah, and she stood by him through all this stuff.
She was right there when they did the COVID reports
every
day.
day, sitting right there up there on the podium with him. I guess they're a team now. I don't know. They're making appearances together, and he's talking about coming back. It's interesting. Anyway, Joe Loda's on the line. You want Cuomo to come back, Joe?
Hell no.
Oh, that's what Davey said. He said that's why you called. You wanted to talk how much you loved the former governor.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all. I just want to talk about gas prices. You said the average is what in Central New York?
All right, yeah, so tell me what you're seeing out there. You know, Richard loves to get under my skin. I'm surprised he didn't tell me to do my due diligence here. He goes, I don't know where you get your gas price information from, but Stewart's on Genesee has been at $3.49 for over a week. Most places are $3.59 to $3.69. Syracuse is averaging $3.09 a gallon, which I can't imagine that's true.
$3.09 for what grade, though?
Regular.
Mm-hmm. $3.82 in Barneville.
Yeah, so, okay, Richard, this is what I mean. And last time he told me not to go to AAA to go to Gas Buddy. So I put in Utica, and here's what I find. In Frankfort, there's one station at $3.49. Buell Fuels in North Bay, New York, if you want to drive that far, $3.54. Stewart's in Rome, $3.61. Maple Leaf Market in Verona Beach, that's turning Oneida's, $3.64. Save-On, $3.64. Sunoco, $3.65. Circle K, $3.65. The only one in Utica on here is North Genesee Street, the Citgo. It says $3.67. So I don't know, but up there you said it's how much?
$3.82.
Yeah, I paid yesterday, I think $3.72. But I don't know.
I think it all depends on where it's busy. See, Route 12, Barneville, you're going to pay more. Why? Because this is, a big high-traffic area.
Yeah, but if there's competition,
because they go through more, but
no,
I don't know.
Is there another station across the street? The competition does matter.
Yeah, there is a Circle K down the road, but the Stewart's person just told me that if Circle K's at this price, then we stay at this price. If they move, we move. So it's like a deadlock battle in Barneville between the Circle K and Stewart's. One of them ought to step up and drop it 5 cents and start a little bidding war, maybe for the consumer to really get the benefit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, am I crazy? I'd love to hear from other people on this. Am I insane? Like, I don't see anything.
Here's the other
I haven't
problem.
seen $3.49.
When you're going north,
yeah,
you only have Stewart's. When you're going south, you have the Circle K. It's not like you can, jump around up here.
Interesting. All right. So is that what you wanted to weigh in on?
Well, that's probably enough right now.
No. Come on. We got more.
I'd like to weigh in on the Texas thing too. Good for them. That's what I like to say. Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in it. I believe that we should lock down the border. If your state is on the border, then you should have the whole entire right, because what do I think? The federal government has dropped the ball. We'll continue to drop the ball until we get somebody in there that's got half a clue.
Listen, Joe, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not against enforcing the border, right? I think we should do that. But the federal government is allowing these people to come in, and then we arrest them for what?
Well, then maybe we need to take out the federal government. Maybe the federal government is wrong here. Maybe we should stand up like Texas is. They're the only ones with a set of cojones, apparently.
Okay. Well, and what do you mean take out and stand up?
Here's the other thing. If somebody comes into your house and you didn't allow them into your house, what do? You don't just let them walk around in your house. At least they're escorting them out. I'd be shooting them.
Joe.
That's what you do.
Okay,
somebody
Joe.
comes in your house.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's not what you're calling for, though, right?
No.
Okay.
Calling for gas.
I understand. All right. I appreciate the call. You want to plug anything before you go?
No, I'm good. I did enough.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Joe Load weighing in, and it's always good to hear from Joe. Smitty, who do I have on line one in there?
It's the Dr. Crawford about the.
All right, great. All right, so let's talk. We're going to transition. I know I teased this earlier, and we're going to talk about AI, and this is the most absurd thing I think I've ever heard. Smitty, can you pull her up on the line there? The rise of AI girlfriends is making male loneliness worse and risks ruining a full generation of men. I cannot believe this. We are joined by Dr. Shannon Crawford. Are you telling me there's people legitimately who claim to be in relationships with robots?
1,000%, yes.
This is unbelievable. Do you treat these people?
I currently don't have any patients, but the trends are massive, and it's a higher population than you could imagine.
Well, one is a higher population than I can possibly imagine. It's why is this happening, and what do you make of it?
I think it's the natural result of loneliness and shutdown and porn and everything that has been handed to us as a society. Then it's hard to actually approach a real person. It's hard to risk rejection and disappointment and conflict. And so when we've created a society that is addicted to technology in general, and you start living your life more and more alone and isolated, it's low stakes. An AI girlfriend is the perfect narcissistic feed of getting somebody who tells me everything I want to hear with no rejection, no disappointment. It's porn to the next level because now it's getting your attachment needs, but it's not a real person. So it's still hitting dopamine just like any other addiction would.
Oh, my goodness. I'm looking at these stats as you were just answering me. The app hit more than 10 million users last year.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's called Replica, and I almost don't want to say it because I don't want to
advertise.
Exactly. They reported being in love, engaged in exclusive relationships, and even married. Someone got married to an AI partner. In May, when Carolyn Marjorie created the AI version of herself, which was designed to be a virtual girlfriend, she was flooded with subscribers who will pay to have a relationship with the bot. Within a week, she had 1,000 paying subscribers and a wait list of more than 15,000 people. Oh, my goodness. We are in so much trouble.
Yeah, understatement. Yeah.
So how you mentioned the pandemic and people being lonely. Is this another example of social media and technology? It feels like we're constantly in connection, but the reality is that we're not.
Exactly. Right. So you're stimulating the brain, just like when you're scrolling social media, you're bypassing the prefrontal, that's executive reasoning, and you're just going right back to the limbic system, to the emotional brain, dopamine. And so that's why people are thinking they're in love, but it's no different than, falling in love with a new partner. And eventually it's like, oh, okay, I need something new. Right. And so that's where people either break up or they develop companionate love. And so that's more hormone based. And so I think that's why we're seeing the difference with there's lots of stimulation to the reward pathway. It feels really good. It's addicting, but then you're not actually in love with a real person. And so just like social media and all technology, it stimulates the brain just like cocaine, but there's no hormone bonding, actual sense of being known and profoundly loved and cared for. You're just being mirrored by an AI computer that's learning you and telling you everything you want to hear.
So what is the societal impact of this?
Well, I mean, obviously less marriage to humans, which means less babies, so a decrease in population. And I think there's just a lot of heartbreak. Unfortunately, I could predict there's probably going to be more depression and suicide because you get everything you want, but then at the end of the day, it's still empty if it's not real community, real connection. People are going to be alone more. There's going to be probably less vitamin D. There's going to be more sickness, less activity. People's self-esteem will go down. We're already seeing since 2020 the isolation and people not going back to work, not challenging themselves, not risking because things have become way too comfortable and we're addicted to pleasure instead of the hard work of actually making things work and the self-esteem it builds when I accomplish something or I pursue someone and I challenge myself and then I get to own that versus everything just being given because I pay $9.99 a month.
Wow. Is that what they charge?
Yeah, from what I'm aware.
Wow. And this woman here, she's not affiliated with the website I mentioned, right? She just created her own AI version.
Right.
And oh my goodness. So it's interesting. I'm not sure if you used the exact word. I think you used cocaine as an example. But this is a drug. It makes you feel good in the
1000%.
beginning. You become dependent on it, and at the end of the day, you actually feel worse than you did when you started.
Right, because it's empty. There's not a real person there. It's an AI program. It's an algorithm. It's really fancy social media that's tailored to you. It's just the next level. After porn, this is the next level. And then there's sex bots that already exist. People are marrying them in China. So this is here. And so now how do we detox? How do we pull away and restore healthy confidence to actually engage in work, engage in human relationship, build families, have babies, live real lives, and not let technology create this cocaine addiction in our brain?
Oh, my goodness. All right, Dr. Shannon Crawford, we appreciate your time and your perspective on this. This is totally freaking me out. I'm really scared about this. I didn't, be honest with you, we booked you this morning and I said, oh, the rise of AI girlfriends. Oh, that's a stupid thing. I thought maybe there was a company advertising it, or I thought maybe it was something coming on the horizon. I've never heard of this, but there are 10 million users on this app last year, and people are claiming they're marrying their AI girlfriend. That's unbelievable. All right, Dr. Shannon Crawford, where can we find you on social?
Dr. Shannon Crawford, and then Shannon spelled differently, SHANNAN.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Smitty, you want to react to that?
No.
Well, what do you think about it? You don't have an AI girlfriend, do you?
No, I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, well, we won't get into it, but that's a change, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, that is a change. Well, please don't do this AI thing. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
If I had to do an AI girlfriend, it would probably be one with a wrestler, one of the divas.
Okay, but it's not a real person though.
No.
So it's not a wrestler, it's a robot.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can't believe this is. Have you ever heard of this?
I've never heard of it, but I've seen it.
What do you mean you've seen it? Well, then you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay, where did you see it?
It was on TV.
Oh my goodness, this is so sad. I can't believe this exists. I can't believe I've never heard of it. We'll take a quick time out and come back with more. It's 20 after 8 on a Monday morning, a dreary day ahead. We've got some rain showers this morning and a chance of rain again this afternoon. Today's high just 47 degrees. We will have some sunshine later in the week, but a chance that this area in the valley here, Utica, Rome, maybe Herkimer, we might see a few snowflakes flying in the morning. There's a chance. I'm not saying it's coming, but the forecast says there is a chance. A quick timeout. We'll come back after this on WIBX.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
Oh, hi, Doctor. Finally.
What brings you in today?
It's anxiety, Doc. I can't even watch the news. We're treating illegal immigrants like honored guests. Criminals run wild. The economy's just nauseating. And the corrupt politicians, they couldn't care less.
I see. Tell me, have you tried voting on the Conservative Party line?
The Conservative Party?
Correct. I find that when people get sick of talk and excuses, they do much better voting Conservative.
Huh. How's it work?
The Conservative Party only backs candidates who are tough on illegal immigration and who defend the law-abiding, not the criminals. So your vote actually accomplishes something on the Conservative Party line.
Wow. Any side effects?
Well, if you're ever around AOC or other socialists, don't tell them you vote Conservative. It could cause seizures.
This election, look for the Conservative Party line. Row C on your ballot. Vote Conservative. It's the cure for what ails New York. Paid for by the State Conservative Campaign Committee.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
At Simply Safe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time. Because during a break-in, every second counts. And these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's Best Home Security of 2023. Advanced Home Security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
It's obvious. The unthinkable is happening. With all the recent media distractions, most folks never saw it coming. But a few did. Their guts told them something very wrong was going on. And now the headlines are proving them right. The people in charge keep telling you that everything's fine and to stop noticing. But you know better. Folks are investing in emergency food storage, and you should too. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, are the ones you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells biomass stoves, off-grid room heaters for when the power goes out, gravity-powered water filters, heirloom seeds, and survival gear that may come in handy soon. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers, but for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Up to half the cost for the same thing. 50% the money for 100% the same thing. I hope I'm making myself clear. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
Bob Cardillo. Experience from day one.
When 9/11 happened, Bob was called. When Katrina happened, Bob was called. When Utica University, ConMed, and PAR needed to expand, they called on Bob.
Now you can call on Bob and put Bob's plans to work for you. Using his extensive experience, Bob has plans to reduce crime, plans to keep our city clean and the roads repaired, plans to revitalize our neighborhood and engage our youth, plans to promote our economic development and keep the next generation here in Utica. November 7th, vote Bob Cardillo, Mayor of Utica.
I'm Bob Cardillo. Put my leadership experience to work for you as the next Mayor of Utica.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
8:25, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. It's going around, and Bill caught something. He's out today. We hope to have him back tomorrow. I was dealing with something, I think, twice. It was a few weeks ago now, but I got sick twice within like 5 weeks, I think. You know, it's going around. How you feeling, Smitty?
I feel great.
You look great. No, you do.
You say that now.
So what did you think of the big hospital opening yesterday?
I was excited for it.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately a good thing. And again, I'll take calls on this if you'd like, but if you live in South Utica, I want to know what your expectations are for St. E's. And I guess if it's not a ton of residential area over by St. Luke's, right? I mean, there's some campus-type housing for students, but obviously
they got Utica College, Utica University is across the street.
Right, but I mean, there are some of the buildings.
And then you got the House of Good Shepherds next to it.
Yeah, that's further down the road.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
So, you know how when you go up the facts of St. Luke's across from Utica University, there's a nursing home there? Like an elder care?
I don't. Oh, yeah.
So
in the back on the right. Yeah.
Are the patients staying? Are the people that are staying there? Are they staying there on campus?
I don't know the answer to that. I believe that is though, like if you're recovering from a surgery or something like that. I don't think that's. I think that might still be there.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure. 315-736-0186.
That'd be something to ask Dr. Hall tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And when Dr. Hall's on tomorrow, we will also ask him about the situation on the surgery floor, because there's some issue with the air system. This is via WKTV. The second floor, which houses the operating rooms and cardiac cath labs, they did a final test of the air handling system on the second floor. While the system was working, officials said it did not meet expectations. It could only be tested once the areas were completely finished and closed off, so that's why it was discovered so late in the game, according to hospital officials. They have a quote here from Darlene Stromstad, the president of MBHS, says it was very disappointing after all the work to be prepared. It will require that we use alternative locations and divert the most complicated surgeries to other hospitals. Out of an abundance of caution for patient safety and with the direction from the New York State Department of Health, the Wynn Hospital is diverting all trauma and major surgeries for the next week to other hospitals. That includes trauma, advanced endo, stroke that require interventional radiology, cardiac surgery, and cardiac caths. So, again, they hope to have it fixed as early as next week, but obviously a hiccup here that they didn't want to be dealing with at this time. WIBX News Time is 8:30. Let's see here. Somebody chiming in. My father is in St. Luke's rehab. They're staying put. Let's see here. Is in St. Luke's rehab. They're staying put in it. Maybe I think they're supposed to say they're staying put until tomorrow. Let's see here. Somebody else sent me a screenshot of gas prices. This was on the 13th. This was a couple weeks ago at $3.97 in Barneveld. We have heard from Richard again, and he sent a photo. So, Richard, I apologize for doubting you. He says, I don't lie. I didn't say you were lying. I just thought you were wrong. Stewart's in South Utica, $3.49. That's about 25 cents. That's more than 25 cents below what the area's average is. He questions where I'm getting this info from. And he said, my son who lives in Syracuse filled up yesterday for $3.09. Richard, the last time we had this conversation over the radio, you told me to use Gas Buddy. Okay, I'm on Gas Buddy Syracuse. I see $3.25 in Liverpool, $3.30 in North Syracuse, $3.31 also North Syracuse, $3.31 in Camillus. So, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 3.30s around here in the Syracuse area. But when I put in Utica, I see a $3.49 in Frankfort. The Stewart's location does not come up, but obviously you sent me the photo. I'm not disputing it now. But everybody else is in the mid to upper 350s or the 360s, from what I can see. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm just passing along the info that I have here that's publicly available. I think I got $10 in gas yesterday, and I think I paid like $3.72 a gallon. Smitty, what is it down the road here? It's
I'm
like
not sure.
$3.70 something, right?
$3.74 or $3.70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of places are, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. But, Richard, I appreciate the info.
WIBX.
Here we go. John in Deerfield. The nursing home is staying there, where it is. I was there in September recovering from a car accident. There is a nursing home and acute rehab unit that will operate within the same building, but are information of each other. I don't know what that means. In the same building, but are in okay. But, yeah, so it sounds like that nursing facility and acute care, at least for now, they are staying put. So if you want to chime in, you can do that via the app or give us a call, I should say, at 315-736-0186. What else did I want to mention here? I'm still reeling from that ugly Giants loss yesterday. It was so depressing, I have to be honest with you. And we put in a backup quarterback who the coach isn't confident can throw a pass. Former Syracuse quarterback Tommy DeVito. He did have the only touchdown of the game for the Giants yesterday. They just ran, and he kept it on a quarterback keeper, got in virtually untouched. But, boy, I'll tell you, that is disappointing for the Giants. The Jets didn't look good. They didn't have any offense until there was like a minute left in the game. They had back-to-back 30-yard passes, basically, and they end up forcing overtime, and they get the victory there.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers was warming up and throwing passes?
I have seen he's been throwing lately. They keep saying he's ahead of schedule and he wants to come back before the season ends. I don't know. They're 4-3. I mean, they're better than I thought they would be at this point, especially without him.
So we were out at a local establishment yesterday watching games with our buddies. Because the Bills played on Thursday, we just got together and shot the breeze.
Was that Uncle Jimmy?
Uncle Jim, a couple, my teacher friend from Utica. And and my teacher friend from Mount Markham, and another. So we were discussing the Bills. You know, the Bills have like 8:15, 8:25, and the rest of their games are like 4:25. They have one game left at 1:00, and that's until the end of the season.
Yeah, it's what, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Yeah, every other game is at 8:30 or 4:30 on Sunday.
Right.
But there's a couple of
because they play this Sunday against the Bungles, and then they play next Monday night. Right here, you can listen to it against Denver in Buffalo. And then they have 4:25. Then they have an off week, and then they have 4:25, and then it gets down to 1:00. Then one of them games is against San Diego Chargers the day before Christmas, as I mentioned last week, is on Peacock.
Which is another night game.
I think so.
Yeah, because they're not. I don't think they play till 1:00 again until New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. So. Let me do a quick news update here on some of the things going on nationally. There was another shooting incident over the weekend. It's so disgusting that this continues.
At a Halloween party in Tampa. It was a 14-year-old kid that got shot. The guy was 25 years old that did it.
Unbelievable.
And then they found the guy in Lewiston, Maine. He killed himself.
Yeah, I'll hit that update right here coming up in just 1 second. Here we go. Let me take a quick time out. First, we'll come back with an update, and we'll. Got more to cover here. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
When you want something done right, you need experience. When you want something done honestly, you need integrity. Judge John Gannon has been Rome City Court Judge for 24 years.
This is John Gannon. I want to ensure that Rome will be a safe hometown for our families to prosper. Please vote for me on November 7th. Thank you.
Rated highly qualified by the Oneida County Bar Association. Judge John Gannon. Fair, firm, honest. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Judge John C. Gannon.
All right, we still have cloudy skies, light rain, and 43 degrees. WIBX News Time, 8:40. Excuse me. The new Speaker of the House says a standalone funding bill for Israel will go on the House floor this week. Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson said he called on President Biden to separate bills to provide aid for Israel and Ukraine. When he met with the president last week, the Biden administration is proposing a combined $100 billion aid package that includes both Israel and Ukraine. Police in Maine were sent to check on the man who killed 18 people in a mass shooting just weeks before it happened. The Maine National Guard reportedly asked local police to check on Robert Card after a soldier there said he felt that Card may snap and commit a mass shooting. Card was found dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound on Friday night. Again, House Speaker Mike Johnson, he says a subpoena for President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is overdue. Speaking to Fox News yesterday, Johnson said that desperate times call for desperate measures, and the House will be moving forward very aggressively. Republicans are accusing President Biden of benefiting financially from his son's overseas business dealings. Former Vice President Mike Pence dropping out of the race for the White House. He hasn't endorsed anyone yet for office, but his former boss thinks he should. Former President Trump spoke at a campaign event in Las Vegas Saturday night, hours after Pence made his surprise announcement during a speech at the Republican Jewish Coalition in Las Vegas. Trump said Pence should endorse him because he's had a great, successful presidency, and he was the vice president. The initial autopsy report for Matthew Perry has come back saying that he drowned. Perry was found dead on Saturday in a hot tub at his home. Authorities said no drugs were found at the scene. It is inconclusive and pending a toxicology report. The Friends star was found dead in his hot tub at a home in Los Angeles on Saturday of an apparent drowning. He was 54. Further investigation is being requested, with the cause of death being listed as deferred at this time, according to a report released by the LA County Medical Examiner. Former Pittsburgh Penguins and Minnesota Duluth player Adam Johnson is dead at the age of 29 after an on-ice collision during a game in England. Johnson was playing for the Nottingham Panthers in an elite ice hockey league game on Saturday when an opponent's skate sliced his neck in a tragic accident during the second period. And the Arizona Diamondbacks will host their first World Series game since 2001 tonight. They host the Texas Rangers in Game 3 of the Fall Classic. The best-of-7 series tied at 1 game apiece after both teams split the opening 2 in Texas on Friday and Saturday. WIBX News Time, 8:43. Your Weather Center forecast calling for a rather dreary day on tap today. We're dealing with some light rain right now. We could see some more rain showers continuing through this morning and a chance of showers again this afternoon. Today's high just 47. Chance of showers tonight, otherwise mostly cloudy. A low of 32. Tuesday, slight chance we could see some snowflakes in the air. Then maybe some rain late in the morning. It'll be sunny by the afternoon, though. Tomorrow's high 45. Chance of snow showers early again on Wednesday. Again, light snow, nothing as far as accumulation. Then some maybe rain, snow mixing late in the day. Partly sunny skies, though, by Wednesday afternoon with a high of 46. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high closer to 50. Right now, we have cloudy skies, a light rain, and 43 degrees. WIBX News Time, 8:44.
At Simply Safe, our 24/7 lifeguard protection helps stop crime in real time. Because during a break-in, every second counts. And these days, every dollar counts. Right now, get 45% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. It's U.S. News and World Report's best home security of 2023. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Ashley Banfield and Chris Cuomo on America's fastest-growing cable news network, News Nation.
The viewer seems to have been lost in the shuffle of cable news lately. They don't want a team sport. They want the full picture.
The appetite is greater than it has ever been for perspective, for understanding, and for information that they can not just trust, but use.
See why more people are turning to News Nation, news for all America. To find News Nation on your screen, go to joinnn.com.
It's hosting season, and Ashley has everything you need at Central New York's newest furniture and mattress store, Ashley, on the River Road in the Marcy Town Plaza in Marcy. Get your home hosting ready for company with guest-approved essentials like a 92-inch Ashley sofa for just $10 a month or $4.99, or a 72-inch 6-drawer table and 4 chairs just $15 a month or $7.99, or a 5-piece antique white queen bedroom for just $19 a month or $9.99. And Ashley Hybrid Queen mattresses are just $6 a month or only $2.99. Plus, we offer special no-interest financing options for every budget with up to 5 years interest-free. And right now, you can save on accessories store-wide to finish every look, from minor refreshes to total overhauls. Ashley has the items needed to make your home functional, fabulous, and friends and family ready. Experience the joy of home suite hosting with help from Ashley. In-store only at the Marcytown Plaza on River Road in Marcy. Stop in today.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Begin a career that changes lives, including your own. Join the Prime Care Coordination Team and assist people with intellectual or developmental disabilities and their families. Are you ready to make a difference? Prime Care Coordination is conducting open interviews on Wednesday, November 1st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Prime Care regions across the state, including their Utica location at 2608 Genesee Street on the upper level. Save the date. That's Wednesday, November 1st. Get more details, including salary, benefits, and more at primecareny.org/careers.
This is Jacob Morgan, born and raised in Rome, asking you to vote for James Herchuk for county legislator, a Navy veteran, former New Hampshire state legislator, and retired business manager who now wants to work for us. He's smart, tough, fair, and honest, and he loves Rome as his new home. If you're ready for change in Oneida County government, vote James Herchuk.
Thanks for the kind words, Jacob. You know I want to make a difference in Rome now that I'm retired. With the time now and some pretty good experience in tough management situations, I want to change direction in the county with my top priority to cut taxes first. Folks, it helps to remember my name as it's not his check, it's her check. So this is James Herchuk asking you to vote for change with me on Election Day. Thank you.
This holiday season, bring extra comfort and timeless style into your home with Adirondack Home Furniture's Flex Steel Gallery Sale going on now. Experience the magic of the holidays surrounded by the finest craftsmanship and exquisite design. From over 40 breathtaking dining sets to handcrafted sofas, their furniture sets the stage for unforgettable holiday celebrations with your loved ones. Stop in today to Adirondack Home Furniture and enjoy a relaxing, low-pressure shopping experience. They pride themselves on their unmatched customer service and attention to detail. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Create your dream home for the holidays and beyond with Adirondack Home Furniture. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and home office, you'll find everything on your holiday list at Adirondack Home Furniture. Visit them at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica, or browse their inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Adirondack Home Furniture, helping you get your home ready for the holidays.
John Zogby on the line right now. There's a lot going on in, obviously, in U.S. politics and world affairs, particularly from the Ukraine war to Hamas and Israel. John Zogby, good morning.
Hi, Bill. How are you?